Hi guys, it's Thomas Moran here and I'm a professional gambler. In today's video I'm going to be talking about Aintree Festival 2025, my lucky 15 which pays over 15,000 to 1 if you get all the winners. If you like these videos guys, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So my first selection at Aintree runs tomorrow, Thursday at the 2:55. It's the bowl chase, and before I talk about my selection, I think we've got to go and have a look at SKYBET having gone 4 places for an 8-runner event. Mention my selection. To get 50% of the field placed each way is just insane. And if you're lucky enough to have a SKYBET account, I would say even if you have to take much less odds, I would always take top 4 in something like this if you can at reduced odds, even if it's a point or point and a half less. I would take it, especially anti-post. You're probably already getting a little bit of value. Top 3 is good. Top 3 in an 8-run event is very much my kind of betting, especially when you feel you've got a good chance of winning, and then the each way play is just a bit of a bonus. But top 4 guys, so yeah, SKYBET, as you can see up here, they're not even that massively reduced. Grey Dawning's 2 to 1 instead of 9 to 4, 3 to 1 for Spillane's Tower. Ahoy Senor 11 to 2. You get the picture. So if you have got a SKYBET account and you wanted to pick something in this race, I would definitely go with SKYBET. So my selection, Ahoy Senor. We've got a Gold Cup horse here who was travelling really well going into Cheltenham and jumping a bit to the right, but it has been known to do that. Running well, unfortunately fell with a fair few fences left. So we've got a sort of horse that hasn't actually had much running. This will be the second run after a wind surgery. I just think this is a top class horse running in this race here, and you know, to be running the Gold Cup, I just feel that we've just got a big chance of definitely getting a place, but a big chance of winning. And again, the price, you know, if this was about 3 to 1, 7 to 2, I wouldn't be so interested, but we're looking at 13 to 2. And even 11 to 2 with SKYBET top 4 is really good in my opinion. We've got to talk about Aintree form because, as you guys will know, with any of my sports, you know, golf, horses for courses, and you just look at the Aintree form here. The last 6 times it's raced at Aintree, 2 wins, 2 seconds. One of those seconds was behind Shishkin by a length and a half, only beating Jerry Cologne by half a length, and then 2 thirds to Noble Yates and Milena Drama, and it's never been beaten more than 3.5 lengths in 6 starts. So to me, you guys, if you followed me over Cheltenham, you'll know I'm a big Lucinda Russell fan, and the Wodge team, that's a big plus for me. There's a few question marks. Obviously the fall, it looked like it jumped up fine and ran off okay after that. But for me here, in each way playing an 8-runner event, with the Aintree form never being outside the top 3, it loves it round Aintree, much like my Bob Ollinger tip. You know, Bob Ollinger, not the same horse until it gets to Cheltenham. I think the same with Ahoy Senor. If we've got something left, still only a 10-year-old, I believe in a race like this, you know, you've got Grey Dawning, great horse, 2 to 1, not for me. I just think Ahoy Senor, for our lucky 15, 13 to 2 shot will get us started very nicely on the first day tomorrow. Second race is the 3:30. It's the William Hill Aintree Hurdle. It's a 2-runner race for me, guys, and as you'll know if you follow any of my other tips, I love these kind of races. You know, if you look at the betting, you've got Constitution Hill, then you've got Lossiemouth. So Constitution Hill 5 to 6, Lossiemouth 13 to 8. Then you've got a third favourite, Woodhoo, which you'd think, you know, 7 to 1. Oh, maybe it might be able to do something in this race. But for me, I don't know whether Woodhoo is a really short price, which is kind of what I'm thinking, or Take No Chances is a really big price relative to each other. So for me, I think Constitution and Lossiemouth are the 2 standouts by a long way. You can see that on the ratings. You can see that anywhere you really look. But then actually, if you take those 2 out, Woodhoo and Take No Chances, to me, they're close. I would have Woodhoo probably very slight favourite, but you're getting 7 to 1 and 50 to 1. So there could be sort of multiple ways to play this race. You might just have 2 different kind of races inside the races. But for me, Lossiemouth, I think, is an absolutely cracking each way bet. A lot of people would say you can't be betting those kind of horses at those kind of prices, but quarter of the odds, around sort of 2 to 1, you're still getting nearly half a point on the each way. But more importantly, I think Constitution Hill, for me, when it's not a 2.5 miler, in my opinion, and I think Lossiemouth is. I think last time they took each other on and lost over 2 miles, I think Lossiemouth only just got beat. Was it 2.5 lengths? Yeah, I just think over this extended distance, I thought the way Lossiemouth travelled and ran at Cheltenham last time out after its fall at Leopardstown, I think it ran an absolutely brilliant race, quick and clear up the hill, no problem at all. Beat a nice little field there, and that was kind of the run you want going into a race like this, because you don't want a hard, tough run or a fall, as Constitution Hill had. And going back to the Constitution Hill situation, you know, in my opinion, not as good as it used to be. And actually, last time out, I didn't think it was sort of travelling that well before the fall. You know, certain people are saying that it was travelling fine and going really well, just unfortunate. But for me, I didn't think it was travelling very well at all. I thought it was getting niggled at and getting sort of, you know, bossed around a little bit. And I just think on these terms, I think anywhere near 7 to 4, 13 to 8, I think you're getting an absolutely great each way bet. Barring a fall, I can't see it getting outside the top 2, which then rolls over our each way part of our lucky 15. And like I say, that I will be having a each way win bet on the day as well as a single, but putting it into our each way lucky 15 I think is a great bet. Going back to the other two in the race, just out of interest, like if it comes to the point where you wanted to take a bet without the top 2, which then takes it into a nice little 5-runner event. I haven't seen the odds yet, and I don't know what they'll be, but on what we're seeing on the form here, they'll have to be putting up Woodhoo much bigger favourite than Take No Chances. So I can imagine that's another bad odds-on race right there. If there's going to be 7 runners, I'll be backing Take No Chances each way against Woodhoo. If I can get anywhere near sort of 7 to 1 maybe, or something like that each way, I'll have a little play, because I think that they're close. I think it could be a great little race between those two, and of the rest, Salva will be, you know, the one in that little mini race, but the other two don't look like much cop. So in the third race of my lucky 15, 305 at Aintree on the 5th, which I believe is the Saturday, I've gone for a horse that you guys, if you follow me over Cheltenham, will have an idea of what I might be picking here. We'll be getting £7 from the rest of the field, and that is Jetara for Jessica Harrington. Unfortunately, we got 4th at Cheltenham when we were looking for each way play. I thought it ran a really good race behind Lossiemouth, but I said it's a 3-mile horse in my opinion. A little bit further than 3 mile is good for me, and I am not giving up on Jetara right now in this kind of race. And you can't see here in the odds here, but we'll be able to get 33 to 1 with quite a few bookies at the minute, and that's why I've chucked it in. You know, there's a couple in this race. Obviously Tiapu's got a great chance, Home by the Lee and Strong Leader for me, that they're cracking bets. But Jetara, for me, like the distance, I just think it was all in my notes. Last time out was too short, the distance. I knew that, but I had to back it because I still thought it was a massive price to get into the, you know, you're getting nearly 7 to 1 to get into the places, and that would have really boosted our each way lucky 15. But here I actually think it's got a really nice little chance, because last time it ran over this distance, pretty much exactly the same distance, Doncaster, it won by a head, beat Jetara. But I just think the speed ratings it had been running over a bit further have been really good. I'm willing to take a chance here at a big price. I think Jessica Harrington will have it in good form. It didn't have the hardest of races at Cheltenham because it was nowhere near winning. Did well to come 4th, but I think in a race like this, I think Jetara is an absolutely lovely little 33 to 1 bet. And like I say, of the rest, I would be looking at maybe Strong Leader, but the prices at 33 to 1 for our lucky 15, I'm definitely going for Jetara. And the last in my lucky 15, guys, you'd probably not be surprised at all, but because the prices has stayed the same, I backed 2 in my first Grand National video. I said Hewick at 40 to 1, that's now backed into something ridiculous like 11 to 1. It can't be a bet for me at 11 to 1. I wouldn't be backing it each way at 11 to 1, but because we've still got the price, weirdly, at 22 to 1, I thought it might actually get really battered in more than something like Hewitt, is Meeting of the Waters. If you've watched my other videos, I'll try and put a link into the cards for it. But Willie Mullins, 7th last year on softer ground than I believe it's going to be this year. It jumped fantastic last year. It took, and you can actually watch it on YouTube. You can follow Meeting of the Waters round and just watch how beautifully it jumped. I just think the ground was too soft for it last year. We've got another year on our side. We've got a lot. This time we're actually planning for this race. We're not just running. I think it ran like 7 times last year, and this time it's only had 3 runs and 3 very easy tune-up runs. And yeah, going into it, it had 6 runs going into the Grand National last year. Ran incredibly well, 15.5 lengths, 15 3/4 lengths, beaten by Iron Maximus, but only a pound higher, whereas a lot of the others have gone up a lot in the weights. 3 very easy, very simple runs, ready for the Grand National. You're still getting 22 to 1 with a few top 5. I think in a lucky 15 like we have, you're getting 22 to 1 with Priced Up, Star Sports and Bet365. I'm already on. I'm probably going to have a little bit more. Like I say, a few of the others that I've mentioned have been backed heavily. Manila Kakuna, sorry, was backed in. I backed it 25 to 1 only last week when I put up my video. That's been backed into 14s. I don't really like those kind of numbers too much each way, but 22 to 1 each way, top 5 with a lot of these. You might be able to get top 6, and you might want to take top 6 with a bit of a reduced odds. But for me, absolutely, I think it is my nap of the Grand National horses, even though the market's going against it. As everything else has come in price, there's no bad things to be said about it. I think Mullins is going to have a good national, as he always does. Like I say, if the race IQ data said it jumped got 8 3/4 lengths ahead of the rest of the field, I think a year on, actually fit for the race, actually not being over raced, I think it's a great bet, and it's the final selection in my lucky 15. I've done as I always do, guys, I've done to see what just the £1 win accumulator would be on these 4. So you've got 13 to 8 Lossiemouth, you've got 13 to 2. You might get bigger on Lossiemouth. 13 to 2 for Ahoy Senor. You've got 33 to 1 Jetara, and then Meeting of the Waters at 22 to 1. And the bet pays for just a £1 win. 4-fold would be lovely. Is 15,394. And obviously, I would say do an each way lucky 15. Obviously, you get bonuses on that when you do lucky 15s. And so the win each way lucky 15 would pay for 30 quid, would pay 28,875. But if I like doing these where you just see roughly if we could squeeze all places in there, you'd still be making 406 quid, which would be amazing, because a couple of them are very, very likely to get places, and then you're sort of hoping on the other 2 to run well. I would wait, guys, until non-run and no bet, which I don't know when that will come up, but it should be fairly soon, I would have thought. It is non-run and no bet for the National, but for some of the other races, I would wait, and even if you have to take a little bit less odds, that makes sense. I'll be doing other videos over the Aintree Festival. If you like these videos, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I've got a Masters video coming up soon. Really got a couple I like for the Masters, the golf, and I've got some other videos coming up after that as well. Hope you're good, guys, but most importantly, take care.